Kill 8 enemies with headshots from at least 100 meters away while invisible. Ordinarily, this Riven wouldn't be a challenge at all. It's basic math. Loki or Avara plus sniper rifle equals win. However, I had the spectacular luck to get this challenge on, of all things, a shotgun Riven. Apparently, I won the WTF Riven lottery. Now, to my knowledge, with the exception of a particularly lucky alt-fire shot from the Cedo, there's no shotgun in Warframe that can headshot anything from 100 meters away. But, just for the sake of seeing if it was remotely possible, I did make 2 attempts to do this challenge with a shotgun. One with the Sancti Tigris and one with Corinth Prime, which seems slightly more feasible, as I'm fairly certain I've headshotted more than a few enemies with Corinth Prime's airburst. I also attempted it with at least 2 different secondaries, but neither had the accuracy or the range to be useful here. It's theoretically possible to do this with a high-accuracy arc gun, but it's hardly practical, seeing as you risk mowing down a crowd of potential targets while trying to get one lucky headshot. Additionally, arc guns are loud. Firing an arc gun, or any unsuppressed weapon, will absolutely break Avara's prow, meaning the only actual way to use the arc gun method as Avara is to use the cloak arrow in Avara's quiver. Doable, but hardly efficient. So, how do you headshot enemies from 100 meters away, when you're restricted to a shotgun for a primary? If you were wondering why I went straight to Avara instead of considering Ash or Loki, here's your answer. Navigator allows you to control any projectile you fire or throw like a Nikita missile in Metal Gear Solid. Arrows are a projectile. And Avara's Exalted is her Artemis bow. And this is how we solve this problem. Tag your enemy so you can keep an eye on their position and distance. Cast Navigator and Artemis bow. Aim high and fire. Unless you are using its augment mod, Artemis bow fires multiple projectiles, but you only control one of them, and you don't want any of the extra shots spooking the enemy or killing them by accident. As you are guiding the arrow, try to align your shot with the target's head as best you can from a distance. If you're off course, go around the target and loop back to try again, or ditch the arrow and fire a new one to save energy. Enemies generally won't notice an arrow that misses, so you can keep it flying, as long as you have energy to do so. On that note, as this method involves using 2 or 3 abilities simultaneously, 2 of which have a continual drain, it's highly advisable to attempt this method with a high-efficiency Avara, preferably with lots of energy pads in your gear wheel for refills. You can also use the arrow to scout for enemies in the distance to save time. Choose your targets carefully. While Grineer Lancers usually have their faces nice and obvious, hitting them in the back of the head is always a gamble, so try to aim high and clip them in the top of the head instead. I probably could and should have attempted this on Corpus, but I prefer shooting Grineer because there are quite a few whose heads are exposed. Dargon pilots, ballistas, and butchers are all excellent options. Take your time. Make no mistake, this challenge may take some practice. Lots and lots of practice. It also requires some patience, including my brief 3 or 4 failed attempts with shotguns and secondaries. I spent over half an hour working on this Riven before I cracked it. However, it is doable, and there's a certain satisfaction that comes with being able to say you manually headshotted an enemy from over 100 meters away using an arrow like a guided missile. It's worth noting that, if you pull this challenge type, there's a good chance it'll be on a Riven type more agreeable to headshotting from a distance. However, if you don't own a sniper rifle, or just hate sniping, the Navigator trick is an excellent alternative. And that, as they say, is that. Mission summary. Mission time. First attempt, 4 minutes 50 seconds. Mission time. Second attempt, 32 minutes 33 seconds. Total mission time, 37 minutes 23 seconds. Missed shots, too many to count. Weapon of choice, Artemis bow. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please poke the like button and let me know. Questions, comments and suggestions are always welcome. And, like always, thank you kindly for watching.